Hey guys, if you enjoy the video, please don't forget to like and subscribe and leave a comment below about what you'd like to see in the next one. What's up guys, it's your man Randy with Trilogy Gaming bringing you another Fortnite exclusive. Today we're going to be talking about the best loot route or the best landing place in Fortnite. And it's kind of funny because I actually found this spot by accident. I was planning on doing a completely different location and then I started landing in, you guessed it, Lonely Lodge. Okay, so what I'm going to do guys is I'm going to run you through 3 games in a row where I land here. We're going to slow it down for any other players that we encounter, but I'm going to speed up all the looting. I still wanted to show you me looting Lonely Lodge though, just so you get an idea of where things kind of are. You can always slow it down if you need to, but I will slow down all the battles. I had to fit in 3 games in a row, so that's why we're speeding things up here. Now keep in mind that in the time I was testing the spot, I would land here and I would win 3 out of 4 times. Okay, that's how incredible this spot is. There's very little competition typically, and there's enough loot, more than enough loot, to really get yourself going in the early game. In total, there are 12 potential chests in Lonely Lodge, so there's more than enough loot. So anybody who thinks that there's no loot here, you probably just don't know where to look, because there are up to 12 chests. Assuming that even half of those spawn, you still would have 6 chests, potentially all to yourself, because usually I encounter maybe 1, maybe 2 people at the very most, oftentimes nobody. Alright, our first player down, and just from my experience, the players who land here are not generally top of the, they're not generally the top 1% type of players, so you're not going to have a lot of competition to take over Lonely Lodge, usually. If the bus does go right over Lonely Lodge, you may have a couple more people land here. I know one match I had 5 people land here, and that was the most I had ever seen. Like I said, generally you're going to run into 1 person, sometimes none, sometimes maybe 2 at the very most, and that's really it. So very easy to get yourself looted up in the early game. Get the chests. There are a lot of resources here as well in all 3. So you have plenty of wood with the trees, the cabins. There's actually a lot of stone too. There'll be random stone piles pretty much everywhere. So just to recap guys, the reason this is the best landing spot in the game, the best loot spot in the game, is because you have a ton of loot, you have basically little to no competition, and you have an abundance of resources. There's actually even a lot of metal. I didn't even mention the metal, but there's a bunch of RVs up by the cabin over there and a bunch of cars that if the circle lands on or near Lonely Lodge and you have time to loot, you can actually get all that metal as well. So there's really all 3 resources here. And really at the end of the day, the stats speak for themselves. I mean, I was landing here and winning 3 out of 4, which is incredible. There's not any other place on the map where I've landed and been able to win 3 out of 4 consistently. Maybe you can do it for a little bit, but to do it for an entire day like I was doing, I was really just blown away by how easy it was with this spot and how few people land here. I think that's the most shocking thing. And you guys can see we had 1 encounter coming out of Lonely Lodge. That's all we had to do was encounter 1 person. So we found our second person going to the next circle here over by Dusty. Now I can tell just by the way this guy's firing at me that he's not a good player. He never once tried to shoot the wood planks that I was under. I only had 1 plank protecting me. But even against players you don't think are good, you notice I still build to protect myself, because ideally you want to take as little damage as possible in any encounter. Getting a kill is great, but if you lose all your health in the process, it's really, it's not going to help you in the long run. I spotted somebody running out this way. The only place he could be is in a bush. And there he is. Took our time, lined it up. No reason to rush that shot. Keep in mind that when you're playing Lonely Lodge and you're going for wins, you're not going to play as aggressively. Now, I didn't hear the guy coming up, but I was able to block him in time. In a situation like that, where somebody has the edge on you, that's all you really need to do is just block them from getting to you and reset yourself. You can see he's trying to come up the back there. And we know he's going to build up to us. That's really all we're waiting for, is to get a good shot on him. Another player is trying to get in on the fight here, so we're going to go ahead and shoot him down. He fell a long way, so he probably took a lot of damage. I can hear the guy smashing my fort at the bottom, but I wanted to finish this guy first, because I know he's really weak. And we weren't able to do it, so we're going to back off. You can see him, we're going to drop down. That was sort of a risky position I put myself in. I should have built after we missed that first shotgun shot. So just be aware that wasn't played particularly intelligently, but we still came out on top. You can see how weak that guy was just from the fall damage he took. He was just one shot. Now the circle has pushed us towards the middle of Loot Lake, unfortunately. So that kind of sucks, but we're going to take on this guy here in the middle. Keep in mind, I should have built when we first came up on this guy. I should have built one extra point to cover him. So that was an error on my part. We took some damage because of it. And you can see this is going to be a Loot Lake finale here. Luckily, the two guys are both in front of me going at it, so this makes it easier for me. Take that guy out easily. This guy has to move slightly because he's still in the storm. He drops out. Has no idea what he's doing. He does build some walls there, and after that I think he just kind of gives up. He potato away at me for a second. Easy win. You can see we actually had 8 kills there. That's actually a lot for landing a Lonely Lodge. I typically will come out of Lonely Lodge with a victory with maybe 5 or 6 kills at the most. I mean, you're not going to have a lot of encounters unless you play really aggressively. And I don't know if you guys noticed during that gameplay or not, but we actually only had 3 kills, all of which were very simple, straightforward kills. And after that 3rd kill, we were actually just about in the top 10. That's how powerful this landing spot is. I mean, it's so easy to get into the top 10. I mean, we probably only had 1 or 2 encounters that entire match that really even tested us at all. And that's going to be typically true when you land at Lonely Lodge. I mean, it's very, very simple to get in the top 10, top 5. At that point, you just have to make a couple of good decisions, and you can get that, that victory royale. Now, keep in mind, the reason I wanted to show you guys this spot is not for you to land here every time. It's because, there are going to be days where you're just struggling to get a win, you just need a confidence booster, that kind of thing. Then it's a great place to land. But if you're someone who's still relatively new to the game, still needs to brush up on your skills, if you're not, particularly good in 1v1 fights, it's not somewhere I recommend you land often, because you really need to land in those high traffic spots to gain those kind of skills. You're not going to get really good at this game landing in Lonely Lodge every time. You could, it just would take you a lot longer. It would take you a lot longer. You should be landing in, at least medium traffic spots, places like Anarchy Acres, Fatal Fields, Salty Springs, Pleasant Park, places like that, places where you're going to get 3 or 4 kills minimum before you leave a spot. Those are the kind of places where you learn a lot quicker. You're tested in a lot of different situations. However, if you're someone who is already pretty good at the game, or if you're just looking to get that very first victory royale, then this spot is going to blow you away. I just found it so easy to get in the top 10 and get those wins. Also, another thing I didn't even mention earlier, another bonus about landing in Lonely Lodge is that there is a vending machine that actually spawns right outside of the main lodge over there. So if the circle lands on or near Lonely Lodge, which happens relatively frequently, you actually have time to gather any of the 3 materials if there's any items in the vending machine that you want. So it's just kind of an extra bonus for you to get even better loot or a shield or whatever it is you're trying to get. I mean, it's not like it wasn't already a great spot, but just to top it off, another great reason to land here is that it's on the outskirts of the map, but it's towards the center of the map. So you're very, very rarely going to have to go very far to the next circle. So it gives you plenty of time to loot, plenty of time to gather resources. It's just, I mean, what more can you ask for in a spot? You have loot, you have resources, the location's good. I mean, there's just very little competition. There's not a better spot in the game as far as I've seen so far. Really, really can't recommend it more. And you guys can see so far I've not ran into one person. And this is not uncommon. I mean, probably I would say every 2 or 3 times I landed here, there was not a single other person. Especially if the bus didn't go directly over Lonely Lodge, then you're even more likely to run into only 1 or no people. So this is not like it's uncommon or anything. There's quite a few ammo crates as well. It's not like there's no ammo here. There's more than enough ammo, especially if it's just you and 1 or 2 other people. There is more than enough ammo. Okay, so coming out of Lonely Lodge, now look, you can see we're already in the top 25, haven't encountered a single person. Headshot there with the hand cannon. The other person has maybe 50 health if they had max shield. Now that person could have actually looked up and shot the rocket launcher at me and potentially done some splash damage, so that's kind of a risky play. You should always protect yourself when anybody carries a rocket launcher. Now right here I made a building error. I actually built up right next to this fort. You pretty much never want to do that. You always want to go above the fort. Luckily this guy had no idea what was going on. I spotted this guy with his minigun out, so that was... I don't know what he was doing. This guy's trying to ramp rush us. You can see he tried to ramp rush right against us, which is why I recommend you don't do that, because it's so easy for the other person in the fort to just look over and just annihilate you pretty much. Now this is the final guy remaining here. We have the high ground, so he has to come to us. I can see him building up. I should have started spamming AR bullets, looking back. There's no need for me to try to rocket launch this far away. And he's trying to build under us. So I'm just going to keep blocking him off, covering our high ground. All we're trying to do here is read, build, and then try to get a free shot. And you can see he tried to rocket launch us. All we did was block him. A rocket launcher is so easy to defend against. He fell a long ways. He took a lot of fall damage there. This guy's probably nearly dead. He actually shoots us down. He just starts running away. I don't know what this guy was doing. Easy win. Only 6 kills there. That's a more typical Lonely Lodge number of kills that you're going to end up with at the end of the match. And you can see we only took 99 damage. Alright, our third and final match I'm going to show you guys. You can see from the first 2 matches we've encountered almost nobody. I think we encountered 1 person total between 2 matches so far. And like I said, it's not uncommon. It's so easy to get in the top 10, top 20. Now, another great thing about Lonely Lodge, I mentioned its location earlier. Also, if the circle moves anywhere north, you can easily rotate from Lonely Lodge up towards Anarchy Acres and go towards, like, there's a very big barren spot over there where you're really unlikely to encounter anybody. Between there and Wailing Woods, I mean, the odds of you encountering someone are really low. And if you do, it's maybe 1 person. And generally, they're not going to be a great player, in my experience. Now, if the circle moves south, you may have to run through retail. It just depends where it goes. That's a little bit of a riskier route. It's not going to be as simple generally. So it all depends. But even so, you still should have no problem making it out of Lonely Lodge. And you can see just from the lodge alone, we have a basic setup. We have half a shield, we have an AR, we actually have a burst rifle too for peak damage, and we have a shotgun. We've also already collected 200 wood and not seen a single person. A lot of times you'll see me switch out a white AR for a green sub, and that's because the white AR is so bad with bloom that I generally prefer the sub over it. especially if I'm carrying a burst rifle. There's really no reason for me to carry a white AR. And not only is the green sub better at medium range than the white AR, it's actually better if you're in a building battle. It shoots down walls far quicker than the white AR could. So there's really no disadvantage as long as you're carrying something like a sniper rifle or a burst rifle, something that can do long range damage. And still, I've seen not a single person here so far. We now have 500 wood, 200 stone, and a little bit of metal. And had no problem whatsoever. No resistance, nothing. And you can see the circle actually moved north, so we're going to rotate towards that Anarchy Acres, Tomato Town area. This guy had no idea. I think this is like a new player of the game or something. I felt kind of bad. He just had no idea what was going on. So the circle came back in a little bit, so we're going to run up on this person over here. Now we had the low ground, so we're kind of waiting to see if he noticed us and what kind of move he was going to make. He didn't seem to even know we were here, so we're going to build up to get the advantage on him. Notice I'm reinforcing my single ramp, that way he can't just knock me down. Now he does see us now, he starts building. As a rocket launcher, he actually just shot his own wall. He's probably not the greatest player. Now we're in kind of an awkward spot here with the ramp like we are. And he's trying to shoot us down. So we're going to come down, ramp up. Actually meant to switch to my shotgun there and missed. We're going to block him off. And then just take some safe peek shots. Even though I knew he was about dead, he had practically no health left, I still built a wall to protect myself and take safe shots. And that's what you should always be doing. Someone's trying to hit us from behind with a rocket launcher. This guy's not protecting himself whatsoever. He's already nearly dead. Easy kill. I actually dropped my shotgun for the rocket launcher. I didn't mean to do that. We're now in the top 10. Once again, we only have 3 kills, none of which were hard to get. Anytime you build a 1x1 and you're at the high ground, and especially if you're in the last circle or two, there's almost always going to be someone rushing you. You can almost guarantee it. This guy's just camping down there, probably trying to heal up. Simple kill. Once again, we took the high ground. We're always taking the high ground in the match. This guy's going to try to air rush us. Go ahead and shoot him down. I was a little bit slow to react to the rocket launcher. That's alright. He's going to try and regain high ground. He fell again. Making sure to stay over top of him. I noticed that this guy's platform was left. Was standing on nothing, so that's why I started shooting it down. I actually shot the wrong panel, so his building stayed up still. He made a really dangerous move there, trying to jump on me. So I'm going to cover him up. Use the editing feature. See, I just got 2 free shots by editing the wall. He managed to somehow jump through my stairs. That's the bad thing about building, is someone can easily jump through your material if even the slightest bit of their head is poking through. But we still were able to finish it. Now the reason I came down lower is because I heard this guy pickaxing my fort, so I immediately dropped down. If I had not dropped down, there was a good chance I would have actually died from the fall. And this guy, he did a lot of damage on us just shooting through our material, but he hasn't made any aggressive move yet. That was his downfall. He should have rushed us after he did all that damage and finished us off. Once again, 6 kills. We have 1 guy left to kill. We have the high ground right now, and you can see he's trying to ramp rush right against our fort. You never want to do that. It's so easy for the other person to just look over and just annihilate you. So that's it, guys. Another 7 kill victory there. you can see we were only really pushed one time. We had one good fight in there, and that was it, and got the easy victory. So there you guys have it. The best loot spot in the game, the best landing place in the game by far, bar none. You can see how easy it was to get wins. And this is just taking over a couple of different games. You could do this all day and probably rack up wins, especially if you're already a good to advanced player. But don't take my word for it, guys. Get out there and check it out for yourself. Let me know what you think, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace. Hey guys, if you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to like and subscribe and leave a comment below about what you'd like to see in the next one.